Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. We got a couple of things to talk about. Miners were up today, which was good. Bitcoin was up today, just barely. Markets were up barely as well, but we have Bitfarms news to talk about. We also found out who is going to be providing immersion cooling for Riot. We'll talk about that. And we have Mawson providing their June production update as well. It's late, but it's better late than never. So we do have that, and we'll get into all of the details here. But as always, you guys know this is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please, please, please do your own research and invest in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. And let's get into the markets, see what's going on there. So the markets were up barely today. S&P was up 0.24%. Dow Jones was up 0.31%. NASDAQ was up just 0.03%. Bitcoin finished out the day actually in the green. It was up a little bit better during the afternoon, but then it came down a little bit. But it finished out today being up 0.18%. It closed at 29,916. It is still range bound. It's still within our brackets here that we have so far, and we keep on getting closer to the FOMC meeting next week. We'll see how that's going to affect Bitcoin going forward into that. Okay, Ethereum was also up today, I believe. No, actually, it was down today. It was down 0.47%. So it closed at 1,888. And we'll see how that one continues going. It's kind of like trending like Bitcoin is right now. Both of those guys. Miners. ANY was up today nicely, 2.4%. Argo was up also 2.52%. Bit Digital was up 3.24%. BitDeer was actually down 3.8%. Bitfarms was up 2.78%. Cypher was up 1.72%. CleanSpark was up nicely 6.9% today. Cores was up 3.95%. DigiHost was down 2.62%. DMG was up 2.6%. Greenwich was up 2.13%. Hive was up 3.21%. HUT was up 0.53%. Iris had a really good day today. It seems like the $8.06 here is acting as resistance right now. It's done it twice. It had a nice candle wick up to it, but then pulled back down to it, down to where it closed at $7.50 a day. Marathon was up also 4.64%. Mawson was up 2.51%. Riot was up 3.56%. Soluna was up 0.25%. Stronghold was up nicely today, 13.51%. TeraWolf was up also nicely today, 9.25% on the day. So a lot of the miners had a pretty good day today, considering that Bitcoin was kind of up and down throughout the day. But nonetheless, we got a bunch of green here on the miners, which is good to see as well. Okay, let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick while we're at it. And let's refresh this. 7-day average has spiked back up here a little bit to 379 million terahashes per second. And on the 1 day, it is down a little bit here. It was up to 434 million. And it's down to right now, where is it at? 396 million terahashes as it is. Okay. So that's it. Let's take a look at the stories that we do have here, which the first one's going to be on Bitfarms. So Bitfarms secures contracts in Paraguay for up to 150 megawatts of hydropower. This is great news. This is going to help them expand even further beyond what they're planning to get to. And here's the details on it. So Bitfarms acquired 2 power purchase agreements, PPAs, in Paraguay for up to 150 megawatts of eco-friendly hydropower, up to 50 megawatts in, I'm going to butcher this, Villaricía, in close proximity to the company's existing operations in Paraguay, and up to 100 megawatts in Yaguza, a new location close to, these names, Itaipu Dam, the 3rd largest hydroelectric dam in the world. So that's exciting there. And here's a quote from Geoff Murphy. As we approach the next Bitcoin halving, we are seeking to drive growth by leveraging our farm design expertise and drawing upon our operational expertise to broaden our geographical presence and optimize global underutilized power resources. So that's all great news there. It's exciting. At the Villa Arisa, construction is scheduled to commence in Q3 of 2023, beginning with a substation followed by building out a second mining farm. So that probably won't get done until maybe Q1 or sometime in Q2 of 2024. At Waiguzu, Bitfarms has the opportunity to develop a new farm with up to 100 megawatts of mining capacity, the timeline for which is being determined right now. So hopefully they can get that done relatively quickly before, well, I doubt they're going to be able to get it done before, but maybe a little bit after the halving event next year. Hydropower at both locations will be provided at a contracted cost of approximately 3.9 cents per kilowatt hour before VAT. That's basically tax, and is not subject to annual inflationary adjustments. So that's a great cost that they have there as it is. So what does that 150 megawatts actually give them potentially? So let's take a look at some numbers here. So I put this into my little spreadsheet here. 150 megawatts will get them approximately at 80% load, will give them 120,000 kilowatts. I'm guessing they're going to go possibly with the XP's miners. Those would be the 140 terahash miners. Now, if they do the immersion cooled miners, they could get more out of those, above 200 terahash per miner. I'm just going with the 140 terahash miners here. That would give them an extra 5.54 exahash, an additional to where they are right now. So based on that, if we go to where they are right now, Bitfarms currently has 5.3. They're supposed to get to about 7.5. Getting another, another 5.5. That would get them to approximately 13 exahash, somewhere right after the halving event, or not right after, but shortly after the halving event, potentially. That's going to be definitely a huge increase from where they are right now. It's going to double, well, it's going to be more than double. Yeah, it's going to be more than double where they are right now. So that's good. I think this is fantastic news from Bitfarms, and we'll see how the stock does going forward. Right now, I still think that they are, let's see, what do we have the numbers here on them? Undervalued. If we look at current valuation based on the last 4 quarters, the current quarter that we just finished up in June was an estimated quarter, and the prior 3 quarters are accurate numbers. With a PE of 15, they're at $3.85. They're growing quite nicely. I might actually bump them up to a 20 here. So based on that, I would think that maybe they should be around $5.14 and $7.71 right now, based on the revenue, or the past revenue that they've had over the last 4 quarters. And if we look at going forward, well, then at that point, I'm thinking they should be possibly around $5.34 to $8.01. Definitely way undervalued, in my opinion, right now. Okay, so we'll leave that at 20 right now, because I think because of the growth they're having into the halving event and after the halving event is going to be definitely a big help to them. Okay, so that's Bitfarms right there. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree down in the comments below, and let's take a look at the next one. So Riot announced that they're buying a bunch of miners here. We just found out that they're going to be, I think they even provided that they're going to be doing immersion cooling on those, but we found out who the company is. So Midas Immersion Cooling is going to supply 200 megawatts of leading edge immersion cooling equipment solutions to Riot platforms. I have to do some digging into them, see what those platforms look like, their immersion cooling. But here's just a quick blurb on it. So agreement includes an initial purchase of 200 megawatts of immersion systems with the option to supply up to 400 megawatts of additional immersion systems on the same terms. So it's kind of a similar deal that Riot did with their, I can't remember now who the manufacturer was for the ASICs they're buying. But nonetheless, the same kind of deal. They're buying a set right now, but they have the option to buy more later on. It's the same kind of thing that they're doing with Midas immersion systems as well. So that's going to be kind of interesting going forward for them. They're definitely going to be growing quite a bit here in the next, I'd say, 6 to 12 months, which is fantastic to see. And that's something that I, as an investor in these companies, love seeing. I'm not invested in Riot, but I'm invested in Bitfarms. But I love seeing the growth nonetheless with Riot here. So that definitely helps those of you that are invested in them to have potentially higher valuations going forward after the halving event. Okay, so that's it on that one. Let's take a quick peek at Mawson right now. Mawson just now provided, 19 days. I don't know what's taking them 19 days to provide basic operational updates. How many Bitcoins do they mine? What's their hash rate? How many miners they have? It shouldn't take them 19 days to figure that out. But for whatever reason, they're always like one of the last ones to provide this information, which is unfortunate. But they do provide it, so we do keep covering them. Here's what we want to get into here on the update for them. They keep having the same 2023 operational focus, which they always go into. And then here's what we have as far as what they have been mining. So they've had a nice increase in mining, BTC for self-mining. April, they had 38. May, they had 67. June, they had 71. Total installed self-miners, they don't provide hash rate. They provide only what's installed miner-wise. So they had 5,880 in April, 13,750 in May, and now 16,350 in June, which is great to see. They still have about, 3,700 or 650 miners left to install. And let's see, total power online, that includes both hosting and self-mining. Self-mining miners installed, like we said, was 16,350. Total self-mining Bitcoin was actually 71.28. And then self-mining monthly revenue was 1.78. I actually have them higher based on the average Bitcoin average Bitcoin price in June. I don't know if they sold more towards the bottoms of it. If they did, that's unfortunate. I think they would have been better off just selling just every day. Just sell at a certain time. They would have averaged into it and potentially gotten a lot more revenue for it. But I'll show you guys that in a second here. Other than that, I think that is basically it here. Yep. So let's take the numbers that I do have for them here, which is going to be on Mawson, which is way over here. Where's Mawson? There they are. Okay, so currently shares outstanding is about 16.2 million on them. Stock price is at $2.45. Market cap is about 39.7 million as it is right now. Current hash rate is about 1.4. This is an estimated guess here on them. 1.46 exahash. Future hash rate is going to be about 1.79. They have about 330 petahash left to install, and their performance has been kind of up and down here. You can see that from 12 weeks ago, had you bought then, you'd be down 20%. 8 weeks, you'd be up 6.8%. 4 weeks ago, you'd be down 1.6%. And from 1 week ago, you'd be up 11.5%. Okay, so definitely the performance has been up and down. BTC production bottomed out in December with 23.34. They have been slowly but surely getting things improving here. So that's good to see. Monthly difference, you can see how much they mined, what the difference was mined from month to month on this chart. BTC per exahash efficiency has come down to 48.81. The other miners have done a lot better than them. They did curtail, it looks like, quite a bit here in the month of June. BTC sold, they sell pretty much everything that they mine. They don't report any HODL as it is. Hash rate, you can see, has been increasing here ever since January. We're bottomed out at 532 petahash. They were stuck there for a couple months. Now they're getting things plugged back in, which is good to see. And then you can also see their revenue has been increasing as well. It still hasn't reached the peak that they had in June of last year, 2.5. They're at 1.9 based on what I calculated, which was the average Bitcoin price. So I'm guessing my numbers are going to be probably off. And like I said, it's a shame that they are actually down from that, about 200-some thousand. I guess it just depends on when they're selling it. Let me see here. What else do we have here? Hash rate difference. This is how much they installed. In May, they installed 695 petahash. In June, they installed 232 petahash. Bitcoin sold value, you can see, is basically the same thing as what they mined. These are the last 4 quarters. The next quarter should be better. So they did improve a little bit here in the latest quarter, which was ending in June. They got to 2.79 million for self-mining only, which is an improvement over Q1. And I think Q3 for them is going to be even better than what Q1 was. Okay. Let me see what else we have here. Okay, institutions. Institutions did increase a little bit here to 14. Shares actually stayed about the same, actually decreased a little bit. And the percentage owned went down to 4.1% from 4.64%. We still have 1 buy rating on them and a price target of $12 for the high, average at $7.50, and the low of $3. Okay, the miners that we got installed this time around, I updated it also for May, trying to make it more accurate. But basically, we installed these miners here, the 90 terahash miners, 500 of those, 735 of these, and 150 of the same ones as well. So those got all installed. Got us pretty close to what they said at 16,350. We're at 16,335. We're off by 15 miners or so, so not too bad there. And I'm guessing they're at 1.46 exahash, and revenue generated would be 1.978 million had they, sold regularly throughout the days of the month for an average Bitcoin price of 1,978. Okay, so that covers that part of it. Now, as far as their valuation is, are they undervalued, overvalued? Right now, based on the last quarter that's estimated and the prior 3 quarters, which are actual numbers, they look like they're pretty fairly valued based on that. But if you start looking forward into the future, taking the current month of June, multiplying that production by 12, I get different numbers here. So I get them at $3.66 to $5.49. Definitely way lower than what the analysts are saying, $12. $12 might be a target when Bitcoin's at 150,000. Could be a target at that point, but not currently. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with that. I would say looking forward, I would say they're still a little bit undervalued, but currently, based on past performance, they're fairly valued as it is right now. Okay, let me see here. I think that's it. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think of this. As always, the spreadsheet is going to be available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there for their continued support. That community over there is growing nicely, so it's a lot of fun to communicate with them over there. Also, the YouTube members have been growing as well, so that's also great to see. And I'll provide this to the YouTube members here later on, probably tomorrow, because it's getting a little late. Okay, but that's it. Let me know what you guys thought of all this. As always, do your own research on this stuff. And if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great evening.